Alright, let's do this. Told by Crows. Written by Davy Redden. Please enter the current time. I like being honest. 2:07, your favorite time of day. Well, I didn't say it was my favorite, but I like staying up late, I suppose. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Yeah, true. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 12 a.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 7 a.m.? It's half and half. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to set. It's 12:08 now. It's good to collect data. Like Facebook does. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Gerard? Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Fascinating. Right. I was working on a drawing. I'm just gonna put the keyboard there. I'm about to play. No. What are we going to do today? Even especially after I got rid of my...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The bucket! It's back! Yay! My weirdly dark relationship with this bucket continues. Why is there a thingy there?
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Onward we go. Now we have several more endings with the bucket to do. Let's see, we have those two endings that I didn't get to do with the bucket. This ending. I heard there was an elevator ending added to this game. What should I do? Let's go. Let's go to the button room, the actual room itself.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his bosses... Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the wind, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
What ending could we do first? Could we do one of the button endings? Or could we...
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right.
Yeah.
The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
The bucket will be here for me.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Everything will be alright. The bucket, not
the lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to them.
What horrible secrets indeed.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. Had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It's okay. It's okay.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
Indeed.
These questions seriously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
I asked you first. Oh, that's really mature to say exactly what I'm saying. Really mature to say exactly what I'm saying. Then he goes to the bucket and says, I'm an idiot! You're an idiot! I'm fine. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. In fact, I'm going to whisper so by the time the echo goes back to you and reverberates back to me, I will be able to hear it. You're an idiot!
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world.
Huzzah!
They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Sassy about... Alright. Sassy the fact that I slapped it. Let's not go to the... Oh. Let's just get this over with.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over?
I know it's already
Yes! They had done it! Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine.
Yes.
Freedom was now mere moments away.
Oh.
Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped?
What?
Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed?
No.
An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave.
No!
Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket.
The bucket is too powerful.
The soothing warmth of the bucket.
The power of the bucket. It's too much. It's too much!
No.
Too much for this game.
Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms.
No.
Not while the building has anything to say about it.
Quite.
Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? Won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait, the music's different. I recognize this music. This is Contemplating Stanley. I think that's the name of the music. I like this music.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Interesting music.
Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace.
Yes.
Protective, yet delicate. Assertive, yet compassionate. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Which ending should I do next? There's 1, 2, 3 more to go. I think I need to get every single ending more, probably in order to unlock something or something like that. Trying to think here, trying to think. Should I do this ending? Let's go this way.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? What? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down. The bucket did not react, except perhaps a tiny glow of warmth. Subtle, yes, but an unmistakable spark from somewhere deep within.
Quite.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
This is going to take a while to get to the actual entertaining parts. Okay, the game's kind of knowing how to...
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock.
Oh.
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It'll be fine. I've seen.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
Oh, quite.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket.
Don't worry, Bucket.
He couldn't accept
I
it.
can guarantee
His own life in
that
someone else's
neuroscience
control.
has proven
Never! He
that there will be
squeezed
a
the bucket
hereafter.
tighter. His one friend
There'll
in
be
the
a better
entire
life.
world. At this point,
It'll all be
he could
better,
trust
okay?
no one except for the bucket.
We must know the truth, and the truth will set us free.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
5. I like that number.
Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machine...
on.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along?
No.
To take over the machine and claim the power for itself?
The power!
How could the bucket have betrayed him like this?
No.
Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust.
No.
Then suddenly, an image appeared upon the enormous
Seagulls.
birds. Silly birds.
Silly birds.
The control buttons became active again.
Ooh, parrots. I like parrots. Ah.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all.
Oh.
It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world.
Including
the mind
apparently in the
controls
offices,
were only
apparently.
a facade to disguise its true intentions.
What?
Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
My days.
Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place,
Just fascinated by
flipping
birds.
through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible
Penguins!
paths his life could have taken,
My cousin loves
this
penguins.
one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Oh yeah, indeed. Look at all these. We got through all the birds. I like birds. Now, let's try out the elevator ending. We're gonna do the bucket version of the elevator ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's the Zending, which I actually never did in the original game, but I've seen other people play it. We should do the bucket version of the Zending, the bucket version of the elevator ending, and do the elevator ending.
Stanley's Bucket, the only co-worker he would ever truly need.
Oh yes.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and the door on his left.
Wonder what would happen if you could actually go in the office.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Hold on a second. I might need to take a dump. But I wouldn't do that on the bucket. Let the bucket take a poo. Psst. Okay. Wipe your arse. Wash your bucket. Pour all the dirty stuff out. Okay, on we go.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
8.
It would
Yes!
be with him, always. The bucket would.
8.
And he knew it. The two of them, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes,
Okay.
this is certainly the most
Elevator
logical
ending.
explanation.
Let's do this. After this, we do the bucket's ending, and then I think we've done all the possible endings for buckets, I guess. So apparently, you can go back up in this game.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
Yes!
The bucket said nothing.
Is this a jab at Valve for not making a number 3 sequel? If that is, then kudos to them. I think this is probably the closest thing we'll get to a 3 or something. And the down button doesn't work. Number 3, number 3.
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button.
That's
I'm having
right,
the
Valve.
time of my life.
You hear this?
Stanley looked expectantly
This is a
at the
protest.
bucket,
We
but
need
the
a number
bucket
3.
remained silent.
We need...
This was after taking some
We may
time to
not
show
need
the
a
bucket around
Team
the boss's
Fortress 3.
office.
We
Stanley
probably don't
at
need
last
a
went to the
Portal 3.
keypad,
We need
where he began
a
eagerly
Half-Life
pressing
3.
the number 3 again and
Half-Life
again.
3! We need Half-Life 3, please! Thanks for Half-Life Alex, which I purchased, but what about Half-Life 3? Happy now. Alright, there we go.
Perhaps it had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Well, indeed. Indeed. Let's try that again. Something's missing here.
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together,
yeah.
and I just
So
want you to
much
see
together.
what I see. Feel the happiness I feel.
To
He
the
smiled
world
at the
I
bucket.
close my
bucket said
eyes
nothing.
to see. Put a bucket on my head to see. Look into my bucket. You will see how I love number 3. Type it on the keyboard.
Here we go, said
Type it
Stanley.
in your
This time
soul.
I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3
When you
and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and
Don't
passion.
tell
He
me
wielded the number
that
3
three's not
like a fine
typing
artist would
for.
wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3,
can't
stories of his
tell me
dreams and
it's not
hopes and
worth
fears.
dying
And the whole
for.
time, he looked to his bucket
I
for
do
a reaction
agree.
of some kind. Anything to let him know
We
that
do
the
find
bucket
such
appreciated
glee
what he was doing.
With the
The
number
bucket conveyed absolutely
3.
nothing at all. Only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
Oh, come on. Have a soul, bucket. Have a heart, bucket.
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's?
Why?
The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Something. Is there? We're not giving up. We won't give in. We'll get through to this bucket.
Ah, said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over.
There we go.
He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant and why he he felt so alive when pressing it.
Oh, deed.
Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Yay!
For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further.
Well, it's healthiest
When the
human
big
being,
day
all tricks
arrived,
revealed.
Stanley was
We did
as
the
prepared
pyramids.
as he'd ever been for
We
anything in his
enslaved the
life.
Hebrews, and we built the pyramids, apparently. That's how it works. World peace, baby. World's first sentient machine. Yeah, about sentient machine. It would take a lot of intelligent design to make a sentient machine. I mean, there's whole things going on about like free will and stuff like that. And the game thoroughly proves that the end is never the end. The man, the process, the myth, the legend, the parable. Stanley from the Stanley Parable tonight. World's first sentient machine. That would require a lot of intelligent design as well, fine-tuning in order to create. And a sentient machine would need to have the metaphysical abilities to reflect, to think, and to have emotions, like the Iron Giant. You know, metaphysical qualities can't be scientifically measured. The end is never the end, is never the end. Not even if Stanley were to get crushed by 2 giant blocks, that wouldn't be the end of Stanley. There's still the ability to pause the game. There's no such thing as dying and then reporting back. There's no such thing as being killed, coming back, and reporting a state that denied our sense experiences. The end is never the end, is never the end. 3. Alright.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Congratulations, Stanley. Remember where you came from. Your co-workers. Cool. What's this that we got here? The storyteller. Stanley reveals all in his new book. Indoors monthly. Help, I can't find my cat. Could be indoors. I can actually read this. What wallpaper should I put in my kitchen? National Geographic. What is National Geographic talking about, huh? Something about buckets? Not a nice fountain or something? Whatever. The dude who came up with pizza. Grazie. I love Italians. I love Italian food.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over.
No one
He was unloved, uninteresting,
nobody loves me.
And in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously.
They don't understand
There would be no connection, no deeper understanding.
I'm typing for
the bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between
You are tearing me apart, Bucket!
And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
All these relationships. The ones that are so earthly or gamely, so finite, they can't quite fill the infinite hole there. If only there was a relationship that could fulfill the infinite void in the soul that no one wants to talk about because they're too scared to confront the realities of stuff like that. Too scared.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No, surely not. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Let's do the Zen
Stanley had felt the bucket calling
last
to him,
ending
telling
we need
him
to do
that
with
the
bucket.
employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room.
I
Go
love his
somewhere
voice
else.
when he's
The cargo
taking
lift,
the
yes.
bucket.
Go. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly
Now
convinced
we're
that the
going to
bucket
do the
had spoken to
Zending.
him,
This is where the
and
game
he
gets really weird,
unthinkingly
and the
did
end
whatever the
credits
bucket
actually
asked.
roll, because the game is just now completely messed up, just to how defiant you are.
In here.
It's
Said the
essentially...
Go into this
you have
dark
to
room over
unplug
here.
the phone.
Stanley once again obeyed
I
blindly.
mean, the one without the bucket was bizarre enough as it was, and could consider to be an alternative version of the official ending for the game, because there's the freedom ending, which is meant to be canonical, but then there's the Zending, which messes up the game and lets the credits roll, just to reflect that things got messed up. But the credits still roll, so it counts as a sort of final ending, as it were.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
How about no?
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see?
I didn't get it.
Goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer?
maybe.
Or spoken quicker?
Maybe.
Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But
Quite.
there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is.
Specifically
it's
on
sitting right
buckets?
here. Let's take a look.
Right.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing?
What is
How
comedic
does it
timing?
work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in
Like
all
this
likelihood,
character.
you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing.
Okay.
To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor.
Right.
Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny now. I'm Dunny with the funny. Yeah.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy.
Thank you.
Finally, it's time to hand out surveys.
All right.
Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian.
Well, quite.
An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all.
Very good.
Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threatened our very existence. and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Yes. Those aliens had to come.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter.
yes.
I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Right. Gotta get back to the game stand parable. Watcha!
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery.
Yes!
You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me.
That's comedy genius, camarade.
Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now? Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure.
Well, that's for certain.
The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Yeah, sure. Like how aliens would demand overwhelming intelligent design in order to come to be if they ever were on other planets, as well as have the metaphysical qualities of consciousness. Anyway, has that always been there? Yeah. Heading back now.
Here we go. You ready? When
Right.
Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Let's just do this for the sake.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done.
Oh,
the
sorry.
joke is completely
Oh, no,
down
sorry.
and over. It's all your fault, Stanley.
Sorry.
I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other
I'm sorry.
I'm going to
Sorry.
be shamed at every one of our meetings from now
Sorry.
on. All
I can
because
try
you
again.
couldn't watch a simple video and take a
I'm
hint.
sorry.
Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down,
Sorry.
Stanley? Are you proud? Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Let's try that again.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit, which culminates in this scene with the phone.
Oh, definitely.
But now the timing's completely off.
Ah,
The joke
great.
will never land.
A bit of
Not the way it was meant to.
climax too
And it's
soon.
all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone
Not that
room
way.
comes
I didn't mean that
after
way.
the two doors room. What an egregious mistake.
Well, quite.
I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing.
Hey, it's okay. It's
I'm not
okay.
even
it's
the
okay.
lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
Oh,
Stanley,
The
you
end.
love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes.
that's the narrator trying out.
I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar. No,
it's not quite
Getting
working
away
either.
from making fun of Stanley's
Taggart.
obsession with the bucket,
Oh,
which was the whole
Scotland.
point of it. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, the narrator could do with a bit of practice. You're still a funny character in our eyes. God bless you, narrator. Oh, things are different again. Things are slightly different.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all...
Beginning. Alright, let's do this. I sound like Nicolas Cage, just like... Alright, let's do this. Yeah, let's do this. Let's play Stanley Parable. Hey, I'm Nick Cage. I'm a normal guy, just like you. Sure, I dress up in bear suits and punch women in the face, but I'm a normal guy, yeah. I might run around screaming I'm a vampire, but I'm a normal person like you. Yeah, going on treasure hunts. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play the Stanley Parable. Please adjust the slider until the computer... Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Please adjust the slider until the dog and cats are friends. And they call it Babylon. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. Smiley face. Piece of paper. Okay. Flag. Roman numeral. I think that's number 4, right? It would be funny if that was like number 9. Drawers. Whatever that is. Plane. Computer with a chessboard. Bell. Ring the notification bell if you want more stuff. 9. Telephone. B. Bike. B for bike. Ambulance. 9! Does that count? Microscope. Trophy. Chain. Chain. Home. Okay. Number 9. Got it. Something about that. Bit impactful. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Pardon me. Nice lighting effect. I like how it actually has an effect, like there's some genuine texture, like hair stuff. Like, I'll just put it here. Because I like the way the cracks go. No, don't do that. Do that. Which of the 2 made-up words below is most appealing to you? Scrumtush, occuboinkal. Scrumtush, occuboinkal. Eeny, meeny, miny, this one. Scrumtush. Please don't adjust the slider. Okay. Do you know what time it is right now? It is 1 minute past 2 as of recording this. Yes, I do. Is it the time that it is right now? Is the time that is right now the correct time? Yes. What time? What is time anyway? What is time? It exists. Yes. Time is that which alongside space and matter makes up the universe, and whatever made the universe cannot be made of space, matter, and time. How's that for an answer? Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Anything about yourself you haven't told? Like how I like Sonic the Hedgehog? Like I went to the Hebrides and bumped a go-kart buggy thing into part of a race course? Oh, there's plenty to say about me that you haven't told me. That time I burned my thumb, yeah. Is there anything about yourself you haven't told me? Yeah. Help. Okay. Will you come back to visit me? Of course. Anything for you, buddy? My friend, the intro screen seems a bit troubled. Alright, so we've done all the bucket endings. Why is there that screeny thing there? Something quite soothing about this. It perfectly captures the surreal nature of the game. Okay, so I've accomplished all the elevator ending. That's what I need to do. I have yet to do the elevator ending, which is the other new ending that I've missed. I've done the bucket version of the elevator ending, but I've yet to do the Stanley version of the elevator ending. Okay. Alright. It's a beautiful day! The
All
sun
of his
is
co-workers were
shining!
gone. What could it
I
mean?
feel good!
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Stop me now. Oh yeah. It's a great intro for a song. Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury! Anyway. I wonder if that was there before. Projections element. Does this make sense? I wonder what that even is. It looks like a happy, heavy girl, like, obsessed about, like, how much she weighs or something, or maybe it's some fat guy there. I wonder if that area being shown there was visible before in the past. Anyway.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This is the way I want to go today. I want to do the elevator ending.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I like the broom closet.
Stepping into his office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy,
No.
so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Calming cult music. Gotta love the cult music, am I right? Yeah, cult music. I am the most expensive boss.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Sewer jellies by Claude Money. Instead of Claude Monet. I like that pun. Carte Blanche et Mont Blanc. All factories and stuff like that, all official business stuff. That painting is usually associated with the narrator. That could just be the boss. Although some fans have made some fan-made artwork as to what the narrator could look like, sort of resembling what writing looks like. Anyway, so the elevator ending.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me.
Silly him.
Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
I want to find out about the elevator ending. Narrator, let me do this. Okay, so I can't go back down. Alright, elevator ending. What doth thou entail? What fruits are you going to make me bear witness?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office.
Yes.
Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator.
Yep.
It's still just exactly what it is.
Yes.
What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again.
Yep.
This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have.
That's
An
right.
incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. Edge of my seat.
Oh, yes. Right. So obsessed with 3.
Eight.
8. I never eat. Anyway. That was a fascinating detour, was it not?
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Variety's the spice of life, narrator. That's how we keep coming up with it. That and looking up the internet, admittedly. Boop!
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor?
Oh,
No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator.
Quite.
I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Oh my days! Who wants to go down the long, dark, spooky tunnel first? Just messing around with the narrator. What if it's something different? Oh no, it's the same boss's office.
Oh my god.
No!
It's the boss's office.
No!
This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a timeout here for a minute while I
Okay.
process this.
Okay, we need to process this suspenseful plot twist. It was still the boss's office.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No, wait. No, I need more time to process.
Yes. Oh, your sarcasm. Gotta love the way that bird drinks the coffee.
All right, I have fully come to terms with it.
Yes.
I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality.
Okay.
As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
You're welcome. Now, let's go down again.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before.
No!
I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Oh yeah, you got a variety. You need to get the stories more interesting. How else are we gonna learn? I wonder what would happen if... I need to try this out next time. Like, if you were to press the button and then... I wonder if you could actually crouch it down, back down again.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley.
Of course!
You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill.
Oh, yeah!
I simply don't let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Yes, build up that tension.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting?
Oh, yeah,
Stanley?
build up the
It
tension.
seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible.
Oh, yeah.
They want big, explosive moments flung right in their
Conveyor belt
faces
of
from the
endless
very
action
moment
flicks.
that things get started.
Oh, yeah.
But where's the tension?
Yeah!
Where's
slow
the trust
pacing.
in the
Yes.
audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story,
Yeah, like
the
Samurai Jack,
characters?
like the Studio
Why
Ghibli
aren't we
movies.
given time to imagine the surprises?
Yeah.
To have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal.
Yeah,
This
I agree with this guy.
is storytelling, Stanley. What
Th-
you
I
and
agree
I are
with this
doing
man.
right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years.
Oh,
and it's
definitely.
really all because of you.
You're welcome.
You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley.
Oh, yeah.
I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to.
Oh, quite.
We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it.
definitely.
Which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive.
Listen to this
That's
man.
why people
This is
like
how
you
you make
so
art.
much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition.
Indeed.
You're a role model,
Oh,
you know?
yes.
People look up to you. Which is why... Oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you.
Oh,
so that you
good.
can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're
Yes.
not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really
All
look
the
up
way
to you,
back,
Stanley.
Even beyond.
I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Excellent.
Okay,
Woohoo!
the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
I'll soon be turning around the corner.
Yes,
now.
here it is, just through this door.
Doing great. A conversation with Alexander the Great. Going back in time.
All right, are
Can't
you
wait to go
ready?
back to
I've told them you're
BCAD
going to
times.
speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley.
Thank you, narrator.
Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
Oh, yeah! Oh, here's the people! Oh, look! There's actual people here! Hey, thank you very much! I am going to tell you some revolutionary things about storytelling you wouldn't believe! What you have to do here... Oh, get to the podium, get to the podium. And then I tell all the things about storytelling, about slow pacing, immersive atmosphere, relatable characters, and deep narrative and thematic themes. Right. Sometimes with this. That was really great, actually.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That was the elevator ending. That was nowhere near as depressing as the one with the bucket.